Wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
I'm back, so deal with it. I can take you to Suplex City tonight, bitch.
Can you say the alphabet backwards? Well, I can look your ass backwards.
You're not funny and nobody likes you.
This ain't Monday Night Raw. This my friend.
Is WrestleRant Radio. And welcome back, folks, to WrestleRant Radio, only here on EC Radio. I am Graham Houston Matthews, our first live show here on EC Radio in about 4.5 months. RJ, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time, Graham.
Well, of course, I had you on the show last week, but this is our first time doing the show face-to-face in almost 4 months. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good.
After struggling to get the show live the last 15 freaking minutes, we got a new system up in here, but it's okay. Just some technical difficulties, but we were able to get it up and running, unlike Raw last night, which was actually very good. Did you enjoy the show?
That was pretty good.
I mean, this is coming from someone that was, myself included, that was in attendance for SummerSlam last week.
Yep.
A mere, 9 days ago?
A mere 9 days ago.
And I mean, unlike last year when I couldn't have you on the show during the summer and we had to catch up 4 months worth of programming that we missed. But so I had you on the show last week. We talked all SummerSlam. If you guys want to check that out, nextairwrestling.net. It's all archived down there. The full hour conversation talking about Raw, NXT, SummerSlam, and everything else. But for those that missed it, though, the last 4 months, RJ, this past summer, September 1st, as we recorded this, what have been your thoughts in the world of wrestling in the last 4 months? This whole summer season, how would you sum it up? How would you sum it up?
I think it's been really good. I think 2015 has probably been one of the best wrestling years in a while compared to previous years. But not many complaints over the summer. Only things when Owens tapped out the Cena and rubbed me the right way. But besides that, I think everything else has been pretty good. I know people are pissed that Reigns didn't win Money in the Bank, but we got Sheamus, so that's what it is. But
are you not entertained?
Exactly. The only thing I had to complain about was about Owens tapping out the Cena. Besides that, it's been a pretty good summer, and I like how it's going.
And that was about it. I mean, there's been a few things here and there to kind
nitpick,
of complain.
yeah,
the nitpick, exactly. That was the only real thing, the only real head scratcher as to why that really happened. And that whole feud with Cesaro, as it's still going as we speak, could be over the United States Championship. But it's not. But I digress. That should be a great feud. They had a really good match last night, too. So I enjoyed that. But I know your favorite part of the entire summer, your favorite show of all time was on the USA Network. The greatest show in the history of television, as Daniel Bryan would say. Tough Enough wrapped up last week. We recorded the show last week before the finale, so we couldn't talk about it. But Josh and Sarah Lee are the winners of this year's Tough Enough. RJ, what are your thoughts? I know you wanted ZZ to win.
I wanted ZZ to win because I only watched the first episode, honestly. Because then I just didn't remember it was on, and then everyone just kept complaining about how bad it was and how people kept voting like the wrong people. So I was like, I'm not even going to waste my time. But then I saw the 4 left people. I wanted ZZ to win so bad, just to troll everyone that ZZ won. But Josh and Sarah Lee won. People weren't really happy that Sarah Lee won, but I read a report that she's kind of a shoo-in to win anyway, so
yeah, take
that where it lies. But it is what it is. I doubt either of them will become anything big, but who cares? Tough Enough. It never really produced any big stars to begin with.
Never produced any winners anyway. You had Miz, Ryback, Cameron, and John Morrison too, and that's about it. And Cameron hasn't been on TV in months, thankfully. But
Nidia was the most successful winner.
Yeah.
Her and the other girl,
Jamie Noble,
and Shaniqua or whatever. She was teamed up with the Basham brothers. The other winner of season 2.
She won Tough Enough?
Yeah, her and Nidia won season 2.
The whole
she's like the dominatrix. Yeah,
that was awful.
Vince is another Vince great idea.
That is so terrible. I remember watching old pay-per-views in the network. I don't know what pay-per-view it was, but I remember seeing that what the hell is this? And this is pre-cabinet days too, with the Basham brothers. That was so awful. But yeah, Tough Enough. Yeah, ZZ, I will give you credit where credit is due, though. You are a prophet, sir. You texted me day after the show. I'm like, I really like this. I think it has some promise. I'm going to really like the show. I think it's going to be great. You texted me, show is awful. I'm not going to watch it. ZZ is the absolute effing worst. I hope he doesn't win. He comes in, in second place, of course. But your second text to me after that, I'm like, yeah, he has some charisma, so I think he might get better over time, in which he didn't. But your second text said, yeah, everyone else is kind of okay, but the one guy I hope doesn't win, because he looks exactly like Andy Levine, is that guy, Josh. Well, you didn't know his name. I didn't know his name, but the guy, Josh, looks exactly like Andy. I mean, he's a lot better than Andy was. Andy was awful. And I'm still, much like with the Owens thing, him tapping out to John Cena, I still have not the slightest clue why Andy won Tough Enough. No one can give me a straight answer. Stone Cold said that Luke should have won. Not even he agreed. It didn't make any sense. Oh, that show was awful. But thankfully, that's out of the way. Right now, we're airing live against Total Divas, which is going on the E! Network. Have you watched Total Divas recently?
I've been watching all of them.
Really? I thought you fell off the wagon for a while.
Nuh-uh.
No, I thought you stopped watching.
I always watch Total Divas.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But...
I always watch Total Divas. I DVR it if I can't watch it.
Okay. Maybe if you're not watching live. But what have been your thoughts on Total Divas?
The last couple episodes have been okay. Nothing major.
It's not as good as it once was, but I'm still watching it.
Yeah, it's good. All the seasons were a lot better, but now it's more drama now than anything. But
yeah, what's going on right now anyway?
I know the Bella's brother is trying to buy that.
The Bellas fight every single episode.
They're trying to do their dance studio. Eva Marie's doing her stuff.
She's training, and now all the other divas hate her because she's actually getting better.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Paige is doing the movie with her boyfriend.
Yes.
Remember she's filming the movie in Canada.
Yep. Yeah.
That's pretty much all I remember.
Yeah.
And then this week's preview was Paige beating the shit out of Cameron at the Florence Center.
Yeah, and Road Dogg's that's 2 strikes. Next one, you're gone.
Good one.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, Paige, we were talking about this before we went live, is unbearable now. I mean, on TV, she's not as bad on Raw and stuff because she doesn't have a mic in her phone in her hands every single week. But as we learned last week during Miz TV, she's pretty awful when she has a mic in her hands on Raw too. But on Total Diva, she doesn't come across as likable, especially on Tough Enough. I know you said you didn't watch most of it, but
I don't think she's that bad on Total Divas.
No, that's what I'm saying. She's not that bad.
I heard she was pretty bad on Tough Enough. I just didn't watch it.
Yeah, she was pretty unbearable. She was like the Simon Cowell of that show for the entire season. So thankfully it's over and we can move forward. But Raw last night though was a pretty good show. So
it's okay.
It was okay
compared to the week before. It was just okay.
Yeah, exactly. Last week was the be all end all. In my personal opinion, best show of the year so far.
For Raw, probably, yeah.
No, for Raw.
Yeah.
Not pay-per-views.
No, Raw, yeah, definitely best Raw of the year.
Question for you. In your opinion, if right off the top of your head, best pay-per-view of the year so far? We got a lot of good ones. We talked about this when we were waiting in line for SummerSlam.
Does WrestleMania count or no?
Oh, yeah. WrestleMania?
Probably WrestleMania was the best.
Best live special, including NXT shows. Is it still WrestleMania? Because a lot of people are saying NXT TakeOver was better.
I honestly didn't think NXT TakeOver was that as good as people said it was.
Really?
Owens and Balor was okay. I didn't think the Bayley and Banks match was as good as you were touting it to be, but you love Bayley.
I love Bayley. No, but I think a lot of people were praising it.
I don't know. Bayley doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Banks does though.
But I like Banks. I do like Banks.
She's great. She's a star.
I'd probably say WrestleMania is the best event of the year.
Yeah. That ending though. Still the best. One of the best, if not the greatest WrestleMania ending of all time.
You said the best ending.
I don't think anything can top that. Next year they're gonna have their work cut out for them in AT&T Stadium for WrestleMania 32.
I think it's gonna flop like a fish.
You think so? You don't think they're gonna fit 100,000 people in there?
They'll do it, but I guarantee the show won't be better than this year's.
Nah. Yeah, Stone Cold's not wrestling. He's already confirmed that. People just gotta let go of that pipe dream. But some people were asking me yesterday on hashtag AskGSM about early WrestleMania 32 predictions. You got anything off the top of your head?
Brock Rock.
You think so?
Yeah.
What would you do? I mean, we talked about this last week, so you won't spend too much time on it, but what would you do with Brock and Undertaker? That has to be finished off. They're going to do a rematch.
Hell in a Cell or Survivor Series?
Yeah, you think so? I think Hell in a Cell, we talked about it last week.
Let's just end the feud right there.
Yeah, it should be ending next week on Raw, but if we're going to have to end it at a fitting place inside Hell in a Cell, because that Hell in a Cell match 12, 13 years ago was amazing.
And No Mercy was the same month that Elimination Chamber's in, too. It's October pay-per-view.
Yeah, that was the October. No, the Survivor Series is the next month.
Yeah, I know, but I was saying like 13 years from when they first fought in that house.
Oh yeah. It was that same time frame. Yeah, that was an amazing match. I mean, that's not. Like
that's when they were both like
in their prime, though.
Well, Undertaker's way past that. Lesnar's still credible.
Yeah, Lesnar's still really good. I mean, Lesnar's great.
Yeah.
I mean, just being in the arena for a Lesnar match last week was incredible just to be there live for it. But, at Survivor Series, I could see that too, considering it's...
I don't want to see that WrestleMania again.
Nah, I can't see them waiting for another 6 months, because Lesnar is doing more dates now, so what are they going to have him do for the next 6 months?
Fight Bo Dallas?
Bo Dallas. Yeah, I don't know if that's been confirmed. I heard it wasn't confirmed that he's fighting him at the MSG show. And that's on the Saturday. On that Monday, Raw might be in Boston at the TD Garden. So that's in the maybe list. But on the definite list, on the I haven't bought tickets for yet because they're not on sale yet, TLC, we're going.
I gotta go.
We're going.
I got money saved up. I'm going to TLC.
After the Dudley's return last week, I'm like, I'm going to be at that show. I got to see a triple threat ladder match. I heard the Hardys are going to be there. I'm just kidding. They're not going to be there.
And Edge and Christian come out of retirement?
Yeah, well, Edge and Christian can come out of retirement. If Edge breaks his neck, it's all worth it just so we can get another TLC match. I don't care if it involves the Matadors because they're involved in every multi-man tag team match in WWE history. So as long as we get a TLC match this year with the Dudleys, I am not complaining, so that should be a great show. But yeah, Raw last night got a lot of notable moments. It was a good show in comparison to last week, which was great. They had a tough time, had a tough task of beating out that show because that show was so great last week. A lot of monumental, memorable moments. But I would say they did a pretty good job. But we were talking about this before we went live. We won't go in any order. Braun Strowman made his in-ring debut last night. And as we said last week, that guy is an absolute monster. He's huge. I'm not saying he's like The Rock on the mic or anything, but he's bearable. I mean, he's passable. He's
passable for now.
He's definitely passable for a guy that doesn't have to cut any promos. When you have Bray Wyatt in your faction, you don't need to say anything at all. Luke Harper barely ever talks. And the match was not that bad either.
No, it wasn't that bad, no.
No. And I was saying, I put out a tweet saying last night, as long as he looks intimidating and he can talk, and as long as he can at least somewhat wrestle, he'll be perfect. And someone said, spoiler, he cannot. But I didn't think he was that bad. No. He didn't botch anything. He's not an amazing wrestler, but
it's not like exactly. You're not going to get a 5-star out of him.
Yeah, it's not like a Neville in the ring or like a Seth Rollins, or he's not going to be doing 450 splashes or anything like that. But the guy, he's passable for.
I think he's passable for now. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, in a tag team with Luke Harper, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah,
he'll be very
Harper
protected.
Can carry a lot of it.
Yeah, exactly. Luke Harper, in comparison, is a fantastic wrestler.
Yes.
So you put him in the ring, have him do most of the in-ring work. You make the hot tag to Braun Strowman, have him just rape everyone in the middle of the ring. They're golden, like almost literally. If you just give them the titles right now. I mean, the New Day is great. The New Day has really grown on me. So what are your thoughts right now on the tag team division?
It's good that the Dudleys are back, because besides the New Day, I feel like...
Get the table.
I don't know, the PTP never really done it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the other random teams they have, Matadores, Lucha Dragons had their push, and now they're like back to square one. Ascension sucks.
Ascension's
And that's
awful.
it. So that's all they have. So it's good the Dudleys are back, but another new, fresh team could be better, and then when the Usos come back, it'll be good too.
And they're over too.
Yeah.
We finally have a program over those tag team titles that means something. Because the New Day are over, Dudleys are over, the primetime players are the closest thing to being over in comparison to everyone else in that division, that depleted division. But I'm hoping we get the because they didn't win the NXT tag team titles. So I'm hoping that means they're getting called up sooner rather than later. Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, they got to be on the main roster soon. Those guys have been down in NXT for way too long, but they are SAWFT soft. Like, they're great. Like, those guys are money. Those guys are like the New Age Outlaws of 2015. Like, they're the 2015 Age Outlaws is exactly what they are. They're going to be money when they get called up. But, yeah, the Dudley Boyz, New Day, and Night of Champions, perhaps. # book it.
What about the PTP? They get their rematch.
Dudley Boyz, New Day, PTP, # book it, triple threat maybe, # book it. Got to get the PTPers in there.
You got it. They were talking about it last night. They have their rematch clause.
Yeah, I mean, if they completely forgot about them, they wouldn't be on commentary. So there's got to be a reason for it. But we got that match at Night of Champions. Also a Night of Champions. We talked about this last week. We called it. I mean, it wasn't that bold of a statement, but pulling double duty, Seth Rollins against Sting for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And for the United States Championship, Seth Rollins takes on John Cena. So you gave me the whole rundown before we went live here. What would you book?
Rollins beats Sting and Cena clean. Both of them have to be clean, too.
Clean.
He can't... Well, maybe he can win some shenanigans, but beats them both.
So in reality, we're gonna have J&J Security come in, Kane
because
come in.
even if he beats Cena, it won't matter because Cena guy's rematch. So it won't even matter how he beats him.
Yeah.
Because he'll beat him. Sting, he needs to beat Sting too. I say they have him beat both of them, and then he comes up the next night, beats Cena and Sting the same night. Triple H can never do it. Then Triple H will come out. Then the next little feud he'll have will be in someone that Triple H has, maybe Kane. I think they might do Kane, honestly.
Yeah.
So
He's got to come back at some point.
Kane versus Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell. He beats Masked Kane, and then he comes out the next night. No one can beat me. And then him and Triple H go in a program into Survivor Series.
Who would you have as the babyface in that feud? It's hard to say because I think both of them are great.
They're both good heels, but they're both good. I think Rollins could flourish as a babyface.
Yeah, I think at this point though, I think.
But the thing is, if he's a babyface, they have to turn Reigns or Ambrose heel, which they could easily do soon because they could.
They will. Yeah.
So I think Rollins. It's not that his time's up as being a heel, but there's not a lot of face for him to wrestle anymore.
He's beating everybody.
He's beating everyone. He's literally beating all credible face. Besides Cesaro, and he's kind of
he's even beaten him before. He's beaten him before too, on SmackDown, not in big matches.
Yeah, he beat him on SmackDown.
He's beat him on SmackDown. He's literally beaten everyone on the roster.
All the baby faces, at least.
All the baby faces. Yeah, I could see a nice little Wyatt program in there, maybe. But I said this on Twitter last night. I could very well see this happening. But could you see a scenario? Not saying it's good, but can you see a scenario where Sheamus cashes in and Night of Champions, regardless of who wins that match, and you get Rollins and Sheamus at Hell in the Cell or Survivor Series or whatever it is, with Sheamus as the new handpicked face of the Authority? Could you see that happening?
I could see it happening, but I hate it.
I don't want to see it happen either. I cringe at the thought of it, but I could see it happening just because Sheamus has to cash in at some point. I would just very well have him lose, to be honest with you. I think the perfect scenario, and I thought we were going to get a Night of Champions. It would have been cool. You could have had Sheamus cash in the same way that Rollins does, kind of like cruel irony in that respect. But Rollins ends up pinning Sheamus to win the match. So Sting doesn't get beaten again. He doesn't have to win the title, and Rollins is still champion. Sheamus is no longer Mr. Money in the Bank. That's like a win-win-win-win situation.
That is a good situation.
That's like the perfect, that's like perfect for everybody involved. But I don't see that happening, unfortunately. They're probably just going to have... I would be happy if Sting won, but I'd also be fine with if they just gave him the belt back right at Hell in the Cell. Sting's not going to be champion for an elongated period of time. I just think if he lost the Sting, it'd just be like... It would be pointless. It's pointless for him to lose the Sting and then just win it back. You know what would have been better? Hindsight is 20/20, but at this point, there's really nothing we can do to change it. But it would have been nice if Sting beat Triple H at WrestleMania, and then Rollins beat Sting in Night of Champions. So it sets up what you're talking about. Rollins says, I could beat Sting, and you couldn't. So that kind of goes into the feud. But they're kind of saying, Triple H is he isn't half the man Triple H is and all that other stuff. Yeah, he's not half the man that Triple H is, even though he uses Sledgehammer and 5 other guys to beat me at WrestleMania. Whatever, it's fine. We're not going to mention that. But like I said, maybe I could see maybe you said Rollins and Sting are both down. Triple H comes out, sends Sheamus out to win. Yep. Because he doesn't think Rollins can beat Sting. Yes. And then because he doesn't want Sting as champion either. Yeah. So then Sheamus does something and loses, hopefully. Because then if he did lose, and then Rollins would be pissed at the Authority, oh my god, I could have beaten Sting all by myself. I didn't need Sheamus to come out. Yeah, I can see. I don't want Sheamus. The only thing is, I just don't want Sheamus to be champion. At this point, I like Sheamus. I think I'd rather have Sheamus be champion than Sting. Sting he does not just ship at all.